It's a new year with new lessons to learn. Welcome to 2017. I'm Sin Elias with Crescent City Conjure, and today I wanted to talk to you about cleansing and protection. A lot of us, at least on social media, it looks like have had a pretty hard 2016. And with the new year, it's a time for inspiration. Everyone's inspired. It's a new beginning. It's a fresh start. Here in New Orleans, it's raining. It's been raining for the last couple of days. And to me, that means that it's a clean slate. We're starting again. But for me, as being someone who practices witchcraft, this season is all about new beginnings with the Yuletide having passed. So we go from the dark times, the time of introspection, the time of meditation, the time of taking stock of what's within, and then bringing that to the outer landscape, the landscape of practicing magic to cause change in our community. But first we have to start with ourselves, and that means we start with cleansing our own self with baths. For a bath, real quick, I wanted to pass on a recipe that I often use for my baths, and that's hyssop, sea salt, not table salt. Table salt is for protection. Sea salt is for blessing. One comes from the sea and one has been manufactured, and so they have a different vibration, if you want to say, about how they work magically. And so I would use sea salt for blessing and iodized salt for protection. So I would use hyssop, salt. I would use bamboo. I know bamboo isn't necessarily a popular root or herb, but it's very good for hex breaking. If you want to think about the resilience of bamboo, maybe you'll see why a lot of us would use it for hex breaking. But that's what I would use in a bath. I have a little coffee grinder. I usually grind it really fine and put it into a tea bag so that the roots don't get into my drain when I take a bath. But I usually run really hot water and let it steep in there like a tea. And if you don't, for some reason, have really hot water, just put it on the stove for a few seconds and you can use the bath just like that. While you're in the bath, it's important to release a lot of the negativity into the water. So the water the water and the recipe with the roots isn't just going to take negativity away from you. You have to be willing to give it. You have to be willing to be in a state of meditation and a state of receptivity in order for this to work. While you're in the bath, keep your mind focused and clear on getting rid of the gunk, getting rid of the things that you're attached to, because it's all up to you. You are the conduit, and that's why we begin with ourselves, because we are the conduit in which magic comes through. The magic comes down and into us first before it manifests into reality. And so spiritual baths and washes are very good, and they're very necessary in our work. But use that recipe, let it steep in some hot water for a while. I also like to pray over my water, because the water itself has a spirit. We say the roots have a spirit, but the water itself has a spirit. And so with the water, I just place my hands over it. If you practice witchcraft, you may want to do an invoking water pentagram, which is here. And of course you want to reverse that since you're watching this, so it's here. But place your hands above the water and say, Spirit of water, please take away from me all of the negativity. Please, while you drain down the drain, take with you all of the negative thoughts, feelings, emotions that are running through me, and please make me clean emotionally, physically, spiritually. Leave me clean and renewed. Just a simple prayer over the water. You also want to have a candle in the bath with you to light the way. Candle does provide focus, and it does light the way to your desires. So I was talking to a client earlier today, and we were talking about why emotions can be magical and why they can be mundane. Mundane emotions are scattered, and so we talk to our emotions with our friends, our family, our coworkers, with everyone. But magical emotions, the way that you use emotions for magical purposes, are to focus them. And so a candle is only a tool, so it provides a single light, and you focus all of your emotion and your desire on that light, and it creates a focused change of events, and depending on the skill of the witch, it creates change. Depending on how well you know some other things that are attached to that we won't go into detail on this video, but maybe on future videos we will go into detail in. So back to 2017, we want to focus on cleansing ourselves with ritual baths, and then we want to focus on cleansing our space. And so that's your home. You want to use floor washes. You want to protect your windows. Protection is another topic, but we're talking about cleansing right now. So we want to cleanse our floors. We want to cleanse our front and back door steps, because we don't want people coming up to our spot or in the back of our spot with negative intentions. We want to make sure that they get what's going on from the beginning. And so I'm gonna be honest, like for these videos, for a simple recipe, use the same recipe: hyssop, salt. You can also use a little frankincense, but I'm not a big fan of frankincense. You could do hyssop, salt, and bamboo. You can use that as a floor wash if you like. You can go with more traditional methods like ammonia or frankincense. What I suggest is that you use what is comfortable to you, what your spirit resonates with, because what my spirit resonates with may not be what your spirit resonates with. The important factor is that you do the work. It's not, I'm gonna be honest with you, people are going to tell you that this recipe does this and this recipe does that, but the truth is that whatever recipe works for you is the recipe that you should use. Whatever recipe makes your spirit sing and makes you feel like your space is cleansed, your emotions and your feelings are attached to the spiritual world. And so if you feel emotionally in your spirit that things are cleansed and restarted, then that is a good symbol that they are. Is it always true? No. I'm going to tell you that I've listened to a lot of people tell me that they've used war water to cleanse their floors. Yes, war water to cleanse their floor. People have told me this. And no, of course, that's not going to work. That's going to just mess you up. You know, even if they feel like they've been cleansed with war water, baby, you have not been cleansed with war water. Oftentimes a good sign that you are cleansed and free of negativity is how you feel. So, but that's only a rule. There are always exceptions to the rule. So we talked about cleansing your body. We talked about cleansing your space. Now I want to talk about something that people don't often talk about: cleansing your temple. So right now I'm in my temple. You could probably see my altar behind me. For the new year and once a year, you do want to take everything off of your altar. I use Florida water. I use Florida water to cleanse the surface of my altar. I use a lot of incense, a whole lot of incense with very specific ingredients to cleanse the space in my altar. I have it burning right now. My altar room burning right now. Your altar is a physical representation of your spiritual practice, and so you definitely want to make sure that that's taken care of and that's up to par. When you're in your temple, it should feel different than the rest of your house. Or if you're just at your altar, not everyone has a temple room. If you're just at your altar should invoke feelings that feel different than the rest of your home, because it is different. There are different spirits that reside there. There are different energies that work there. And so it's important to make sure that space is nice and cleansed and taken care of, especially for 2017. So as we're moving forward, I don't know how many of you actually did something for 2017. I did a little candle because I like to start off small and then build big. I don't necessarily like to start big because then you end small. At least that's how I think of things. So start small and big, start big and small. Magic always builds, hence its nature, right? Nature starts small and then grows. And so I do the same thing. This year, what I'm going to be focused on is tightening up my practice. Now, I've been practicing for a very long time. I could say since birth. These are things that have been inside of me and intrinsic to my spirit since as long as I've known. So, and I've done a lot to tighten up my practice, but I'm going to continue tightening up my practice every year. My resolution is to be more of a badass witch. But and maybe you have the same resolution, but whatever is going to make you happier, healthier, stronger, more powerful as a person, a better person, a more wise person, a more informed person, a more learned person, then that's the things that you should be focusing on for 2017. But you do want to protect your space, and we haven't gone over protection yet. I sell railroad spikes and coffin nail crosses on CrescentCityConjure.com, and these are, traditional ways that you can protect your home. You can use the railroad spikes on each corner of your property. You can use the coffin nail crosses on the windows so that you're keeping negativity out. And it is the property of the iron that is in the railroads and the rituals performed over the railroad spikes that keep you protected. There have been spirits called in to do the work for the railroad spikes and the coffin nail crosses. But more than that, it's important for you to be in contact with your own spirit, your own ancestors, so that they surround you and create a bubble of protection for you, so that when you move forward, you don't step into something. When you move forward, you don't involve yourself with the wrong people. When you move forward, you make positive, informed decisions and not just random decisions about whatever. And so as we move forward into 2017, the focus is about making better decisions. The focus is about becoming stronger in our own integrity, becoming stronger in our own spirit and our spiritual practices, especially people who are spiritual workers. I'm going to say if you don't do a whole lot of spiritual work, and this is kind of just your day-to-day spiritual belief, I would say a major cleansing is due at least once a year. But if you are a spiritual worker who does this on a daily basis and is involved with a lot of other spiritual workers, then you should do this once a month. Yes, you should do this once a month. I'm also going to say one more thing because I think it's important. For spiritual workers who are public, meaning that you've hung your sign out on your shop, then you need to be doing more work in the shadows than you are doing up front. Meaning, for me, someone who has a presence on social media or whatnot, my practice is much more intense behind the scenes than it is up front. And I say that because some people get confused about what the work really is. The work isn't to post on Facebook. The work isn't to try to convince people of this or that. The work is always personal. It always has been, baby. It always has been. It's always been a communication with spirit. It's always been a communication with the ones that you have devoted yourself to. It always has. And you can't translate that over camera. You can't. I try to inspire people, but I can never translate my connection with spirit. What I want to do is inspire your connection with spirit. I want to inspire you to seek your own spirits, and I want you to build a relationship with them. So, Happy New Year. Happy 2017, and I hope you guys are blessed. You can catch me, Sin Elias, on CrescentCityConjure.com, Crescent City Conjure's Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, all by the same name, Crescent City Conjure. And so tonight I just wanted to keep it a little real with y'all and let you know what it really is for a worker like me. I'm very focused and intent on the things that I plan to do. So, and I want you guys to be focused and intent on the things that you plan to do as well. I hope to talk to you soon. Bye.